Okay.
Were you on that whole time? I hit my mouse and it launched across the table.
No, you're good. You're good. I got disconnected too, so we're
Okay,
all
wow.
good. Yeah.
I love live broadcasts. Okay, hey everyone, this is another episode of Open Book. We're off to a good start, and I love Wednesdays because it's a time that we get to have, oftentimes a guest on the program to talk about just the amazing things that other people are doing, amazing organizations that we at Billy Footwear are partnering with. So today we have Miss Abby Thomas, who's one of the managers with more of the global outreach for Special Olympics. Abby, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. It's my pleasure.
So Abby, you and I, our paths crossed maybe I don't even know, maybe like a year ago, and we started chatting about a potential collaboration between Billy Footwear and Special Olympics. And before we kind of get into that, I think a great place to start is when someone hears the word Special Olympics or hears of the organization, and I definitely fell into this category. I had heard about it, but I really didn't know all of the details. Now I do, but I was hoping that you could kind of walk us through just kind of the nuts and bolts of how Special Olympics came together and what is it that makes up Special Olympics?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Great question. Uh, so Special Olympics is a global movement. So we are a movement that is created for people with intellectual disabilities, and our ultimate goal is to make the world a better and more inclusive place for people with intellectual disabilities. And our main vehicle for change is sports. So we use sports as a foundation to break down barriers and prove that people with intellectual disabilities, or any disabilities for that matter, do have just as much to give, whether it's on the playing field or off the playing field, as somebody else, without a disability. So our foundation is sports. We work to break down barriers and create more inclusive spaces, both in the school and education, as well as the healthcare space. And I would say too, Billy, just two common misconceptions, because a lot of people have heard of Special Olympics, but two common sort of themes that I see when introducing new friends to our brand is that a lot of people don't realize that we're global. We have such a huge presence here in the US. So we do have 52 state chapters here in the United States. We have presence in over 190 countries. And so it's just our reach, our global reach is just massive. And so it's really neat that we are in all corners of the world, and hopefully we will be in every country eventually, but we do have a broad global reach. And the other common misconception is that people think of us just as youth. So a lot of our traditional programming is, more directed towards the younger generations, but our traditional programming starts at age 8. We actually have young athletes that is for our athletes ages 2 to 7, but then our age range, goes from 8 until infinity. So a lot of people don't realize that we have a lot of adults too that are athletes.
So I love that you called out both of those, because those two misconceptions were definitely ones that I fell into, because I did think it was more of a youth program, but I also got confused on how, there's so many state chapters, and I didn't know how the state chapter and the National Special Olympics and then even the games, those are actually 3 different things.
That's
But
correct.
they all work together in concert.
Yes. Yeah, we are one big happy family, but we do have a federated model. So each of our state chapters, for example, I know you're in Seattle, so Special Olympics Washington has a fantastic state chapter. And then we do have also like different regions. So, Special Olympics North America, Special Olympics Europe, Eurasia, and that all goes into Special Olympics International. And when it comes to our games, within each state, different states will have a regional competition and then a state level competition. And then every 4 years, we do have our USA Games. So we really stay busy with all of our different entities.
Well, the other thing too, you guys definitely stay busy. There's so many things happening and so many different initiatives, and we'll touch on that in just a little bit. But another thing I want to call out is it seemed like when I was looking at the history of Special Olympics, it really was just more of a vehicle to get, people out being active, but it's grown into something so much bigger. And when we talk about like inclusion, that's such a huge umbrella. And I know your inclusion pledge, talking about the bullied, the isolated, all these different, different like categories and stuff that is so incredibly relevant now that is also wrapped up in Special Olympics, but is well beyond Special Olympics.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And we really want to be a movement that is, we want to be game changers, like on and off the field. And one thing that we focused on a lot in our 50th anniversary was just we had so many hurdles and barriers to overcome, and we still do. But for the first 50 years of our movement, we were a mission and organization for people with intellectual disabilities. And now we've kind of shifted that to be a movement from people with intellectual disabilities. So we really I know that's such a small shift and a really small pivot, but it's actually huge, to say that the first 50 years we were empowering and trying to prove, how capable people with ID intellectual disabilities are. And now they have the stage, they have the playing field. And so we really want our athletes to be the leaders of our movement, and they have incredible, powerful voices. And so we want to just keep time and time again giving them the space and stage to use their voice.
Oh, absolutely. So speaking of becoming an athlete or being an athlete, so those who've been listening in, I mean, perhaps they have a child or they themselves could be interested in becoming an athlete. How does one start that process?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the best way to get involved is definitely through the local chapter. So whatever state you find yourself in, just definitely go to their website. If anybody has trouble, we can work to troubleshoot that. But getting involved on the local level is the best way to get involved with Special Olympics. And all of our states kind of vary. Some of them have different sports. Some have a stronger emphasis on winter sports, and some have a stronger emphasis on summer sports. But there's lots of ways to get involved for sure.
And then another way to get involved, like for example, BILLY Footwear, we're a sponsor of Special Olympics. So, there's so many different donation vehicles to be able to give to Special Olympics to be able to help promote the program. I guess it's kind of an open-ended question, or kind of vague because there's so many ways to do it. But are there any like kind of key ways that people can donate to Special Olympics?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll definitely kick off starting with our partnership, Billy. And I just think, our partnership made so much sense when we looked at the brand alignment, our two brands. It's harmonious. It makes so much sense. And our tagline for our partnership is inclusion fits, to just show that inclusion fits, all shapes, sizes, abilities, ages, everything. So I think that's such a great tagline to tell the story of our partnership. And so one of the ways I know we're working together is through cause marketing. So on our website for specialolympics.org, we do have a Gifts That Give Back page. And so that has a handful of different partnerships that, especially if you're looking for holiday gifts or birthday gifts anytime throughout the year, Gifts That Give Back is a great way to just say these products do actually go back and give funds for Special Olympics. So that's one big way. And then if you're looking to get involved, fundraising or just anything that might not be on the fundraising side, we're actually launching our 12 Days of Inclusion today. And so it's a really exciting time for us. So today marks the first of 12 days that will have different inclusive acts throughout the day. So, or throughout the week. So it'll be a great time to just learn more about, who is Special Olympics, and just a little bit about the work that we do. So over the next 12 days, we have some really cool stories. You can learn about our health work, our youth work, and then also a couple of athlete stories. Our Chief Inspiration Officer, Loretta Claiborne. There's a 6-minute video to learn a little bit more about her incredible story. She is Special Olympics all-time champion and just such a great voice for our movement. And then also Ben Collins, who's a colleague or who's an employee at Special Olympics International and also a Special Olympics Maryland athlete. So he just learning about both of their stories is really empowering, just to get a taste and feel for the work that we do.
Awesome. Well, I think at this time I'm going to put some banners up for you. So right
Perfect.
here, specialolympics.org. That's how you find Special Olympics on the web. And then social, it's just really easy. You'll probably guess what it is. It is at Special Olympics. So, Abby, speaking of stories, I mean, I'm sure you have a story as well. And knowing that Special Olympics is so rooted in adding value, and just from the time that I've known you, it just seems like your heart and soul just like bleeds adding value. So, I'm just kind of curious to know how you got acquainted with Special Olympics.
Yeah, great question. So I did volunteer with Special Olympics. I think that's one of the best things about our brand is that so many people either have a family member or a neighbor, or they themselves have participated in Special Olympics some way, somehow. So I did do some volunteering when I was in high school, but I feel like I really hit my stride as far as like my personal passion goes when I was in college. So I went to college down in Rome, Georgia, and I volunteered with an organization. It's a separate 501c3 called the Miracle Field. And so that's a baseball league that's a completely rubberized turf that's wheelchair accessible, and the bases are painted on. And anyways, I just completely fell in love with the marriage of disability and sport. And so from that moment, I volunteered a lot and interned with the Miracle Field organization. There's a lot of Miracle Fields throughout the United States, and so I volunteered with them, and they're connected to the Rome Braves, so they do have an MLB affiliation. But like I said, from that moment, I just knew that I wanted to do, dedicate and do something with my career that involved both disability and sport. So Special Olympics is the perfect place to do just that.
Mm-hmm. That's just absolutely beautiful. I
Yeah.
love it. I mean, so growing up, I mean, I was very active in sports and just absolutely loved it. And I just loved the team concept, and you're just working together as kind of a small community, and you just leverage the strengths, and to be able to move together like as a single unit. And I don't know, I just found sports to be just so inspiring, and plus not only inspiring, but like just really to be part of something. I mean, being an individual, that's one thing, but when you're part of a team on and off the court, on and off the field, whatever it may be, it just becomes something way bigger than yourself. And then even the
Yeah.
people that aren't even on the field participating, they're on the sidelines rooting for you. So I don't know, it's just a beautiful model. I don't know, it's just been a real honor for us to be able to be partnered with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that reminds me of another way to get involved is through our Unified Sports program. So our Unified Sports is just an incredible way to experience our mission firsthand, and to be able to see, the power and joy of sports that takes place, both in practice and preparation, but then also on the playing field. And just like you said, Billy, I mean, sports just have so much power, and that is the best way to break down barriers. There is, no disability, no labels whatsoever when you're on the same team. So our Unified Sports is a combination of athletes with and without intellectual disabilities playing the same sport on the same field. So each of our state chapters definitely, always needs volunteers for a Unified Sports program. And a lot of the people that work at Special Olympics International volunteer with Special Olympics DC. So that's a lot of fun. But I just think, our partnership is, I'm just so excited to see where it can continue to grow and flourish. And I just, your team has been such a dream to work with. So really, really excited for all that we've already accomplished. And we're only, just 5 months into it.
Right. Well, it just seems like, I mean, there's so many just amazing initiatives with Special Olympics, and so many people are getting engaged, and your overall mission is it just encapsulates everything. So I know when you look into the future, it just seems like we just have to keep doing what we're doing and like get more people
Yeah.
involved. And I mean, do you see any new initiatives being released, or is this more of just, it's tried and true, we just got to get more people involved?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, obviously, COVID-19, the pandemic did kind of throw a wrench in our in-person activities. So each of our state chapters are returning to play, based on the local guidance for what's safest for, their region. But we're definitely excited to have, in-person activities happening as permitted on those local state levels. But on the global level, we have a very, very busy 12 months coming up starting next June. So we have exciting initiatives just to look forward to. So in June of 2022, we have our USA Games in Orlando, Florida. So those will be June 6th through 13th in Orlando. And those happen every 4 years. So you may remember we had our Seattle 2018 games. That was our USA games. So we have that. And then we have our Unified Cup, which will be the Unified Sports. It'll be a soccer cup. And that'll be 36 different teams, or 32 different teams, sorry, in Detroit, Michigan. So that'll be August of 2022. And then in 2023, we actually have our World Winter and World Summer Games, both in the same year due to delays for COVID. So our January 2023 will be our World Winter Games in Kazan, Russia. Mm-hmm. And then June of 2023 will be our World Summer Games in Berlin, Germany. So.
Oh my gosh, that is so awesome. I mean, the amount of planning that has to go into. You're right. I mean, we were fortunate to see the games here in Seattle because it was right in our backyard. It made it really easy. Mm-hmm. But I mean, to travel as a team with so many different countries to these foreign countries to be able to participate, all just rooted in the same like vision to really like, just inclusion and make a difference and just get out there and like have fun. Boy, what a beautiful picture.
Yeah. That's fantastic. We're really, really excited to get back on the field and see that competition on both a national and global scale.
Mm. Well, Abby, I know that every time we check in for our bi-weekly meetings, we can really talk forever.
Yeah.
And the same could go for today. But before I let you go for today, I just want to give you the mic one more time, just like the open mic. And, we've covered a lot of ground. We can talk about something we've already talked about or something new, but I just want to give you the mic one more time before we sign off.
Awesome. Yeah. Just thank you for this opportunity today to share, about the work that Special Olympics does on an every day, every state, every country, just thank you for the opportunity to share more about the work that Special Olympics does, but also for a partnership. You guys, your entire team at BILLY Footwear is just incredible to work with. And one of the things, we have so many incredible corporate partners that we work with. And it's just great to see how different brands can collaborate with our brand to really make a difference and to be able to tell a story. But one of my favorite things, and I see this in all of our corporate partners, is just when it resonates so deeply, not only with the company and with their brand, but also with their employees. Having employees that really do believe in inclusion and live that out in their daily life is really cool. And so I will definitely say just kudos to the BILLY team for being creative and being eager to work with our brand, because that's what makes beautiful partnerships. So thank you guys for your partnership.
Wow. So eloquent. Yeah, the pleasure is truly ours. Everybody else out there, and this is another episode of Open Book, please check out Special Olympics. Let me put the website up one more time, specialolympics.org, on social, at Special Olympics. Yeah, everyone, thank you for tuning in today. Abby, as always, thank you for your time. Everyone else out there, this was another episode of Open Book. We will have another one next week. So until then, take care.